Okay, now let's get to the coding part of the line following robot. So first you all must have already have the Arduino IDE. And now let's see the possible cases we need. So there are four possible motions for the bot. One is going forward, left, right and stopping. So for going forward, we see that both the sensors, the left one and the right one, should be on white, which indicates the black line is in the middle of the bot. So then the bot will be moving forward. Then we have the second case for turning left. In this case, what happens is the left sensor would be on the black line and the right sensor would be on white surface. Then the bot should move left. Then once the bot moves left, the black line would come in between these two sensors and these two sensors would be in the white surface and would go forward. Now, in order to turn right, it's the opposite of left. The right sensor would be on the black line and the left sensor would be on the white surface. Then the bot would turn right. Then finally for the bot to stop, we give a black horizontal tape. So both the sensors would be on black, making the bot stop at the finish line. Now let's code this into the Arduino IDE. Now let's start programming it into the IDE. So now just click a new file. You'll get a sketch like this. Now let's start coding it. So first we'll declare all the variables. So these are the two new variables we have apart from the previous bots. We have the left IR and the right IR. The left IR is connected to digital pin 13, right IR is connected to digital pin 12. Then we have the motor pins, which we have already connected for the previous bots. So the right motors goes to pin 9 and 10, and the left motors goes to pin 6 and 5. Then we have two variables int m and n. We'll be using this to get the reading of these two IR sensors. Now let's go to void setup. We'll give a Serial.begin 9600 in order to debug this code. It's not needed for the actual bot, but in order to troubleshoot it, we'll need it. Now we give the inputs, left IR and the right IR. Both of them take the value from the IR sensor, so we declare these two as input. Then we have the pins for the motor, which will be output because we'll be providing current from the Arduino to control the motor. Now let's go into void loop. Starting off the loop, what we are doing is we are declaring M as digital read left IR and N as digital read right IR. So what happens here is digital read is a function which returns either 0 or 1 from the digital pins value. So in the case of IR sensor, if there is some white surface, it generally returns 1 and M would become 1. And if it's a black surface, it returns 0 and M would become 0. That's why we have declared it as an int. Now let's see the conditions for the movement of the bot. So the first case we saw earlier was the bot moving forward. So over there we gave left is equal to white, right is also equal to white. Generally for most of the IR LEDs, white would return a 1 and black would return a 0. So we are giving if both are 1, meaning both are white, the bot should move forward. So that's the first condition. Let's go to the second condition. Else if m equal to 0 and n equal to 1. This means that the left one is black and the right one is white. In this case, what happens is, as we saw earlier, the bot should turn left. So we would be giving the code for turning left over here. The third else if condition is the left is white and the right is black. So the right sensor would be on a black surface, which means on the line. The left sensor would be on a white surface, which means the bot should turn right in order to get the line in the center of the bot. So over here we'll turn right. So these are the three conditions we have. Now there's only one more condition where it's both 0, meaning both black. So we just give a else and stop. That's a stop condition. So earlier bots you had the forward, left, right code which you had taken from the earlier bots. So use the same configuration. In this case, forward meant that motor R1 and motor R2 was low and high respectively, and motor L1 and motor L2 was low and high respectively. So in this case, the bot would move forward. And now we'll give the code for turning left. Over here we'll give low, high, high, low. So over here what happens is this motor would turn in one direction, this motor in the other direction, causing the bot to turn left axially. Now we'll give the code for right, which is the opposite of left. motor R1 and R2 would be high and low, motor L1 and L2 would be low and high. So this would turn in the opposite direction, this also opposite direction, to turn the bottle right. Now we give the code for stop. In the case of stop, what happens is, so all the motor pins would go to low, and finally we get the stop code. So in case your bot malfunctions, as in this case it's turning left, in this case it's going forward, just change the code over here, because it depends on how you connected the motor to the motor driver. So over there, just do a bit of debugging and you'll get the final code. So now for debugging, as I told earlier, we'll be using the serial monitor. So in the starting, just give serial.print. So we'll give the value of the left IR sensor, and now let's print the value M. Now let's print the value for right. So now whenever you run this, you'll get the values for the left and right respective IR sensors in the serial monitor over here. Now over here, let's just give the direction it's going. So now let's give for all the conditions. Now over here, you give right. Over here we have to give left. And then we'll give stop. So there's no condition for going back. So we just have forward, left, right, and stop. So now what you have to do is, we'll compile the sketch and check whether there's any error. And there's no error. So now upload it to your Arduino. And once you upload it, just keep your Arduino on a white surface and check the readings. Now keep a black surface under your Arduino and check the readings. So for white, in the case of white, if you got 1, and for black if you got 0, this code is correct. And in case we are changing material as in black and white and value is not changing, as in white and black both it's 1, or in white and black both it's 0, then adjust the potentiometer in your IR sensor and it'll get fixed. Now in this case, white is coming as 1 and black is coming as 0, the code is correct. And now just check for all the conditions. If in this case the motor is turning left and over here it's going forward, just replace this code block over here and it will get fixed. And now in case you're getting white as 0 and black as 1, in these three if conditions, just change 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. So over here we'll give 0 and here 0, and here we'll give 1, and here we'll give a 0, and here 1 and a 0 over here. This means that we have not changed anything. It's just that this would be white, white, this would be black, white. So we are just checking for white and black. So in case white is represented by 0, this is the code. Otherwise, if white is represented by 1 and black is represented by 0, is the previous one. Here will be 1, 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0. So now you can upload the code once the debugging is over, and you can keep it on your track and see the bot moving to the finish line.